Welcome back, everyone. Well, 18 days to go. And then we have the right that our democracy gives us the luxury of doing. We get the opportunity to vote. We get the opportunity to choose people who will represent us. Little backdrop. This is Tedra Cobb. Of course, I know you know who this is. But way back in the primary, I think this is the third time we've gotten together. First time I met Tedra, that interview just stayed with me for a couple of days. I was just very taken with your enthusiasm, your drive, and your dedication. So I just want to compliment you on that.
Thank you.
Long time since then. You won the primary. Now we're going into the general, as I said, in like 18 days. How are your shoes?
Well, luckily I'm wearing boots because my sandals are worn out. And they were my favorite pair of sandals, but no longer. They're gone.
You know, I think I'm dangerously close to being correct about this, but the 21st Congressional District is bigger than some states in the Union, right? So it's quite a big district.
Yes.
That also points out to the fact that it's also very diversified.
Yeah.
A lot of different kinds of professions and people. I know that you started, because you told me about this, you had a certain set of principles. And you go out and you start to talk to constituents. What did you learn from them?
Yeah. So I am in this race because of healthcare. And so one thing that I've learned along the way is still that healthcare is the top priority for people, for themselves, for family members, caring for ill family members. And when I talk about healthcare, it's about access to healthcare, but it's also about making sure that people are insured. We have a high uninsured rate, and I'm in here because, you know, this Congress and Elise Stefanik tried to repeal the Affordable Care Act without a replacement. That's why I'm here. So healthcare is still the #1 issue. One of the other things I've learned is that we are more alike than we are not alike. In other words, we have farming. I'm on the northern end in Saratoga, all the way down into Lewis County, Jefferson, Lewis, all the way to Washington County and up, you know, along Lake Champlain. So our farmers are one of the ways that I think we are similar. Tourism, whether it's the St. Lawrence River all the way again to Lake Champlain and through the Adirondack Park. Education, there are 13 universities. Students are trying to go to school, make their lives better. The high cost of education is a challenge. Our local schools are struggling with a tax base, with cuts to federal funding. So the things that I'm hearing that we have are unifying. So the district, I think, although is 17,000 square miles, we are more alike than we are not alike. And that gets to me and how I've run the campaign, which is I wanted to run this campaign like a local election. When I ran for county legislature, I looked at my district and I thought, if I want to win, I got to knock on all 2,800 households.
Right.
And I did. I started in April and I knocked on doors. In this case, what I did was get out early over a year ago and meet people and then create teams of people who will help me. And we now have 1,900 volunteers who are working with me to reach out and to let voters know who I am, why I'm running, and why they should vote for me.
You know, I want to cycle back on a couple of things here. I get the sense then, you know, you go out and you talk to constituents, you know, they apparently are getting involved.
Yeah.
You know, at a time when politics is so divisive, you know, you think to yourself, people just shut the door and they don't want to be involved. But quite honestly, given the opportunity, people do want to be involved, don't they?
Yeah.
And that does funnel through too. I read something recently that, you know, your contributions are way up and you don't take PAC money.
Right.
And that you had a lot of volunteers. That stunned me, the number of volunteers.
Yeah.
So that says something about people wanting to be involved.
Right, and I think this gets to who I am as a person and the work that I've done. I mean, I've lived in this community for over 30 years. I've done community organizing. I ran a community health agency. I've served on lots of boards. I was a firefighter. That's about me, but the involvement is about other people. So I made a commitment from the beginning that I would not take corporate PAC money, that I would not take money from Wall Street, and that I would run this campaign by the people, for the people, because I am one of us in this district. We raised $715,000. We actually broke the record in this district fundraising. And 65% of our donors are from in the district. 87% are from New York State and connected to the district. Think of how many people go to the Adirondacks or the St. Lawrence River or own property. So this is about people who care and people who've contributed because they care and they want to be part of the process. And that really is in stark contrast with Elise Stefanik. She raised $530,000 this quarter. 300,000 of which is from corporate PAC and lobbyists. That's different. We're different people, and so people have a clear choice this time.
Well, you know what? Some of that has to do with, just some of the traditional thinking about the difference between the two parties.
Yeah.
Right? And again, I follow politics pretty closely, as I know our viewers know. And I always look to see what the person stands for.
Yeah.
I'd love our viewers to know why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah. This is an extension of who I am. I have run before, and I've served for 8 years as a county legislator. But as someone once said, Tedra's worn every hat in the community, right? I have been a firefighter. I've served on a domestic violence board. I served on a hospice board and North Country Children's Clinic board. So for me, being part of the community and being a public servant is part of who I am. Being a congressperson is who I am right now. In other words, I am running to serve my community in a new way, and because I see that the person who's the current congressperson isn't doing what I think should happen. It's not about her as a person, if she's good or bad. It's about me as a person and an extension of who I am and the service that I have given to my community, and I hope to serve my community. I will continue to live in the North Country. This has been my home for 30 years. It's made me who I am. This district is not just an area on a map for me. I will work in Washington on behalf of our community. And I think that for me, along the way, having met people and having those volunteers, that just means that I've already built the beginning of the community that I will serve, and that it will only extend once I'm elected.
Got it. Well, you want to know something? It's been a while since we've spoken. You're the same as I remember from the first interview. That's wonderful. It does take a certain kind of character to want to be in public service. It really does. All right, we're very close to Election Day. What do you hope to accomplish between now and Election Day?
I am running. I mean, I have been working
literally.
Yes, I that's right. I have been working very hard from the beginning to now, and I will continue to work hard. My goal is so that what people will know, right? Who I am, why I'm running, and why they should vote for me. And the only way that they can know that is through my communication with them, and that has been being in the district, holding open meetings, making sure they know where I am. But it's also in my ads so that they know who I am. It's all about communication, not only when you're running, but so that people know that the person that's sitting here is the person that was sitting here several months ago.
That's right.
And is the person who will be sitting here a year from now when we have another conversation, or hopefully more often than that. So I'm not changing who I am because my core values have always remained the same. I have 9 adopted siblings, and my parents taught me from a very early age that compassion is strength, listening is strength, and compromise is strength. And those core values won't change for me.
Well, we're very lucky that you chose this path, I'm telling you. Find out more about Tedra. Find out more about her policies. You can go to her website and find out about it. And above all, make sure that you vote. If we don't vote, then we don't have a right to have a voice. And that's seriously important to all of us. Yeah. Thanks again. It's great to see you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay. To see this interview, again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.